Hi there, this is Rejo from digthatbass.com, and this is the first of a few walking bass lessons I'll be doing in a close future. I'll be covering iconic jazz bassists like Paul Chambers, Jimmy Garrison, Percy Heath, Sam Jones, Scott LaFaro to name a few, and I'll be transcribing their lines from actual songs. I'm doing this because I feel that in order to become a really good jazz bassist or walking bassist, you have to transcribe a lot and you have to immerse yourself into that kind of music. You have to get a feel of the vibe of that era. You have to feel that bass. You have to notice how it interacts with the piano, with the drums. And of course you can play walking bass by following a few simple rules. It's nothing wrong with that. Like play chord tones on strong beats and passing tones and chromatics on weak beats. But when you transcribe these lines, you often notice that these rules are bent, and that's where the flavor comes from. You know, these guys usually played 7 days a week, several sets a night, and sometimes they were bored with what they played, or sometimes the piano player told them to play something else because they're bored. And they had to really change and bend these rules. By transcribing and analyzing these lines, you will notice the little subtleties, and you will discover that actually these guys were pretty educated. Also, you get a new angle for your instrument, because these lines were played on an upright bass, where a lot of the times open strings were used because that notes were in tune for sure. So when I came up with fingerings for the lessons, I tried to think upright bass and try to use fingerings people would use on an upright. Not always, but 90% of the time. That way your fretboard might open up by using that area of your fretboard. And of course, learning walking bass is fun and very beneficial. First, it quite improves your tempo. Instead of playing those fancy fast licks, you have to slow down and play long, round, even quarter notes. And that can be a challenge. So when you play along with those records, your time improves every time. Secondly, walking bass is great for ear training. If you have never ever transcribed anything, walking bass is the starting point. As we are talking about quarter notes for most of the time, you can transcribe these lines bar by bar. In every bar there is a 4-note phrase. You just loop one bar, try to sing it back with your voice first, and then you transcribe and go to the next bar. So it's a great ear training opportunity as well. And after I've convinced you how much fun walking bass is, let's get to our first patient, Paul Chambers. The tune I have chosen is called Trane's Blues, which is a simple blues in B flat, and it's from the album Workin' by the Miles Davis Quintet. Check the original out and practice with that. First of all, Paul Chambers' playing is simply powerful. The line flows very smoothly and you can feel how strong it pulls the band forward. You can see that there is a main line which is varied little by little, and there is a harmonic variation in the 4th bar, so that's where Paul goes up the neck and plays some variations. Also, there is a little explanation in the tablature. You can see a line of letters and numbers, and let me explain this. R stands for the root of the chord. 3, 5, 7 stands for the 3rd, the 5th and the 7th of the chord. and D stands for diatonic, and diatonic means within the suggested scale of the given harmony within the bar. You can see C, that stands for chromatic, which means a half step away from the last or the next note. And you can see T, which is for tritone. A tritone means 3 whole steps away from the preceding or the following note. Knowing these, you can go bar by bar and check out which notes are chosen in a given harmony. You will see that sometimes a chord can be outlined using thirds and fifths as well, and there is no need for a root to outline a chord. You will also see that chromatics are used extensively. That gives the flow of the line, and that gives it a smoothness. You will also see that rules are bent. Around bar 16, I think, and 39 and 40, you will see that sometimes chromatic notes are on strong beats, and there is nothing wrong with that, because again, it brings the motion and the flow of the line. And even though they're non-harmonic notes to a given chord, they still work. And one more advice is that when you're learning this, first put your bass away and try to sing the line. That way you'll internalize the line and you will use your ears, because walking bass is also about melody. It's not only about choosing the right tones, using chord tones, but about creating a melody. And Paul Chambers is a genius at that. And when you sing the line, you won't think about the fingerings, you won't think about the neck of your bass, you will think about the melody. And when you can sing it back, round by round, you can pick up the bass and see where the notes are on the neck. So that way you will possibly create more musical bass lines in the future. So thanks for watching this lesson. I hope this is helpful for you people learning walking bass, and stay tuned for the next walking bass transcription, which will be possibly by Jimmy Garrison. And if you like this lesson, please share it or hit the like button, or do subscribe to my channel, and have fun practicing at home. Cheers!